Peace and love. I'm back with you. Got this phone fixed and we are rolling today. So, welcome, everybody to Flowing Growing with Sister Nzinga, our YouTube channel where we work on ourselves. We are developing ourselves, we are improving ourselves, we are enlightening ourselves, we are encouraging ourselves because we love ourselves. So, our main purpose, the focus is to emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. And of course, we have our acronym THINK, THINK, taking hold of and implementing new knowledge. Taking hold of and implementing new knowledge because knowledge is no good for you unless you implement it. You have to put some action to it. Just knowing it ain't doing you no good. You just know it ain't doing you no good. Okay, you can learn how to do something, but if you never put it into practice, you could take a sewing class and say, I took the class, got an A in the class, and then what? What happens after that? If you don't go into that machine and start sewing and making you some clothing, creating some stuff, then what good is it to you? So we want to take this new information from me, from anyone else you see, lectures, books you read, stuff you hear from friends, implement the new information. Be willing to change. Be willing to change. So thank you. Welcome to all my new subscribers. I do apologize. I want to be just straight up and honest and say that I have to still add some of my new subscribers to the YouTube page, and I will do that before our next gathering because I'm looking. I'm like, we got a lot more now. So yes. So I will definitely add you to that thing so we can kind of stay up with what's going on here. But today we're going to talk about some really interesting things. I'm going to read something to you and then I'm going to talk about it, and I want you to really take this in because oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, and add to notifications. And please share. Remember, we're here every Tuesday. So I want to read this to you. Nothing in this world operates the way you think it does. You hear what I'm saying? Nothing in this world operates the way you think it does. Banks do not loan money. Governments are not empowered to protect you. Police departments are not there to serve you. Institutions of higher learning, colleges and educational institutions are not there to educate you. The entire superstructure of civilization in the Western world, which is, the U.S. and all these other places, is a combination of brilliantly put together and well planned, I should say, schemes to direct the minds of the people in such a way as to serve them. Do you hear what I'm saying? So all these things that they have put in place, the government, the education systems, the police, the banks, all this kind of stuff, it's a fraud. What's my brother? The system is a fraud. Mutabaruka, he said the system is a fraud. It is. It really is. These things they have this planned out idea of how they're going to manipulate us, and they have done it. Not how they are going to manipulate, how they are manipulating us into this scheme that really only benefits them. It only benefits them. So would you admit that? Can you really just think of a certain situation you was in? You was like, oh damn, Well, I know there ain't no question about us as black people trying to think about the police, okay? Because we know the police ain't serving us. You see how the police are doing us as a people. They even doing their own people wrong. But I'm talking about us, empowering us. Do you see that? Are they really there to protect you? No, they're not. When certain situations come up, they'll take someone else's word over another person. They even locked up a black man. He was driving, but he was a police chief. But they treated him like he was a civilian because they just saw a black man in this nice car and so forth. And look what they did. So we have to understand that nothing is as it seems, and we have to be mindful and be able to take in this reality and just accept the fact that nothing's the way it seems, and want to be able to make a change in yourself to see that you got to get off this little wheel that you're on, and start thinking for yourself and being analytical about the things that's happening in your life and anything that comes upon you. You cannot continue to just I use that word acquiesce because I love it. It's a big word, I just like the way it sounds. Really, it ain't really a big word. But we are just being like, the people say, we're like herds. They treat us like sheep. Because whatever they say, we go do. And don't you realize that? So this is what I'm saying. Think. It ain't illegal yet. Think. Because this stuff that they doing is just crazy. We are in a bad relationship. We will call it an abusive relationship. As people of color, we are in an abusive relationship. And do you know that most of the time when you're in an abusive relationship, the other person is always trying to manipulate you to think that what's wrong is your problem, that you created it, is your fault. You know what I'm saying? So take this in and digest it for yourself and think about, have you ever been in an abusive relationship? Most people have, or at least know someone else that has been. And that person makes that person think that they're the ones who's wrong, that it's their fault. And that's how they keep them down. Oh, well, you know what? I know I should do better. Oh, yeah, well, my husband said this, or my wife said this, because there's men that been that abused also. But this person is trying to make you think that is wrong. So what they have done, they have created all these things about us that, we steal, we're dishonest, we don't work, we this, and all these things, the negative things they say about us. They have created the atmosphere for these things to happen. And then they say that the reason why these other things are happening to us is because we don't want to work. We lazy. We this, we that. That's not true. You have to know your future. You have to know your past. If you know where you came from, that shit ain't true. We come from royalty, kings and queens who was doing shit. A lot of stuff that's being done today and the things that are functioning us in this world today was created by us, but we have not been given the credit for it. Like I was mentioning one of my other things, you need to really look up all the inventions by black people, all the black inventors. Most of the things that you use today, the cell phone, the car, the shoestrings that tie your shoes, the washing machine, the elevator, these things was created by us, but they have lied and don't say that we did it. They say somebody else did it. Yeah, even in modern days, you see the things that we're doing, even with rap. You see white people trying to rap. Give me a break. Break dancing. We created the break dancing, but do you see white people doing the break dancing and they want to claim it like it's their own? So we have got to be wise in the things that we do. We have to be thinking it ain't illegal yet about the things that really, really, really are happening with us today. So this negative relationship that we're in, it has us thinking that the reason why we're in these problems is because, because we're poor, because we're lazy, because we're this, that, and the other. All these things are manipulative words that they are using, manipulative processes that they are using to make us think that the reason why we're in this situation is it's our fault. But it's because of 400 years or more that they have given us these situations, and that we have been put into these situations, or we believe the fact that we're in these situations, like they call us minorities. We're not minorities. We believe this, and we use these words against ourselves. We're lazy. We talk, oh, he's so lazy. Oh, you so ghetto. We use these terms against ourselves. But that's not really who we are. Our characteristics about ourselves, but even with our language, it's not our language. So we have created slang. I don't know, in other countries, you've heard something called Creole. And so even there's a French Creole, there's an English Creole, and that is something that is where the language is been kind of turned around to make it comfortable and understanding for those people that are using it, because English is not their language. And so they've broken it down into a way that they can use it and they still understand each other, but they want to call it broken English. Well, honey, the most language that is most broken is English, because English is a bastard language. So think about these things that you're being told, because we are really in an abusive relationship, and we've got to get out of that abusive relationship. We've got to start thinking for ourselves and start thinking, well, that's not really who I am. Oh, this is not my fault that I did this. But definitely be responsible for yourself, because if you are doing it, even though it was pressed upon you, then you have to stop doing that thing to make a change. That's why we say we need to make a change in our lives. That's why we say we need to make a change in our lives. So we have to emancipate ourselves. And then one other thing, when I was talking about how we continue to use these things against ourselves, because we are our worst enemy, because we continue to perpetuate the lies that they have given us. They tell us that these things are true, but they're not true. These things that they were just made up. And as we continue to use these things, and then we teach our children these things, then we're continuing generational curses, putting them on our children. People didn't have problems with me when I was raising my children, because I refused to tell them that Santa Claus was real. I refused to tell them about the Easter Bunny. I refused to let them just watch all this TV. I refused to do that. But then my family and some friends and stuff, they fought against me like, why don't you let your children do this? Why are you not doing this to your children? Because they're lies. I learned that they were lies, and I refused to give these lies to my children. So as long as we continue to perpetuate their lies, we're continuing to continue to contribute to our own demise. We can't keep telling our children that these things are true. We have to tell them the truth. Everyone who has been a leader in a so-called leader, because they want to give us leaders, but like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. But do you know they've killed all these people? That's right. I said it, and I know it's a fact that this system, in some type of way, has manipulated whether in some of the ones, even with Malcolm, it was another black man who did it, because we sell our souls to the devil for money or for something that we think is valuable, but that shit ain't valuable. And I want to go back again to the Wizard of Oz. Look at that story and see how it pertains to us as a people. We went through all this whole maze, and we've been doing this and doing that, and they saying, well, this is that, and now, white man supposed to be better. He got more money. Like, they say the white man's ice is colder. Ain't that some dumb shit? And we say it to ourselves. Because we just thinking that, if we get something from the white man, then it's better than getting it from the black man. See what I'm saying? That's stupid. We're being fools. We're being fools, and I don't want to call us fools, but we guys got to just tell it like a TI is. But long as we continue to manipulate things in a way that we continue to perpetuate their lies about us, then we're being fooled. We're being foolish for sure. I don't want to call nobody a fool, but you're being foolish. So we got to wake the flock up. Wake the flock up. And you know what I really want to say? So we have to stop being able to continue to let these people manipulate us and make us think that these things that they are saying are not real, because again, we do know what the problem that we have with banks. These banks are not really set up. They say this because, okay, let me just go way back to this thing called the Constitution. This is the laws. The Constitution says that every man supposed to be created equal. So they gonna find a way to say that we ain't even a full person. What the fuck? What is that? And we believe that shit? We have believed it. Well, we kowtow to it, but thinking we ain't this, we ain't that. So even from the beginning, and then when you go to a bank and that they show stuff on TV that if you get your white friend to make a phone call for you and about ask for information to see if the answer that they give the white person is going to be different from the answer for the black person, and that ain't random. That's a lot. That's universal, and it shouldn't even happen. People say, "Oh, that was just one incident." It shouldn't even happen at all. Not even at one time. It should not happen. We know how the police ain't really for us. Supposed to be police, supposed to protect them. Our friends, our children, we want to look up to the police and all that kind of stuff. But no, we are in fear of them because how they continue to treat us. And then with higher education, we already know. I've been telling people, college ain't for everybody. Sometimes you need to learn something to do with your hands. Everybody has a gift. Your gift will make a way for you. Learn how to do something and you master it. We all can either draw, paint, build, sew, dance, sing. We know we can sing, y'all. We know we can sing. So find your gift and use it and master it, and your gift will make a way. You won't have to go to college, because what you do, you go to college, and then the way they got it set up there, you go to college, and then when you get done with this mind manipulation thing that they call college, then you got this bill you got to pay. So by the time you get a job, then you're taking your money, and all your money for the first 5 or 6 years is going back to paying for this bullshit education that you got. And then what are you prospering? Because you can go and work for somebody. You can go to school all these years, and the only thing you can go do is work for somebody else. What about me? What are you doing for yourself? I didn't spend all this money and been to college, and then what? I still got to go and work for somebody else. Why come I can't just go and start my own business and work for myself, and all the money and time and energy that I put into it comes from me? What? So I'm not even going to go long today, but I want us to really think about what I'm saying. That this banking system is not really set up to bank us, to help us. The police department is not really set up to do anything for the educational system. All they do is you go to school, you've been to school, you've been taught to do this. Then you learn those certain things, and then you go and you regurgitate those things back, and you can pass the test. But you ain't really learned enough. You ain't applied stuff. Did you really think about it? There's no room for thinking. And that way is not the way for everybody. And some people think, well, I got to go get an education. But then you go get an education. What do? You're working for somebody else. You're not doing anything for yourself, but you still got this long bill to pay even after you get out of college. So we have to start thinking differently. And then now, if you look on the internet, or you look on these different media platforms, you'll see that people is talking up. Did you know that this is that you can really do this, this? Did you know that you know this? Like that, did you know? Did you know? There's so much stuff I said I was gonna do. I'm gonna do a thing where did you know, did you know, did you know? Because you have got to start thinking about the things that happen to you. What's happening to you? Do you know that you are really like a puppet? They no longer have to tell us to go to the back door, because what we do, we get on the bus, we just go to the back of the bus. They no longer tell us, we are still in fear of them and sometimes, which, sometimes it's understood, but we have to start standing up, because if you bent over, then that's how they can beat us down. But if you stand the fuck up, then hey, you standing up, you proud, and you're strong. They ain't gonna come in your face. So we got to start supporting each other. We got to start loving ourselves. And again, the first person that has to be making the change is you. You have to make a change. And just think, well, don't nobody do that. Don't nobody wear that. Ain't nobody watching that. So what? You working on yourself. You are a unique individual. You need to be your authentic self. And we need to stop acquiescing to someone else's idea. Everything that we're doing is a plan. Every idea that is created with something in mind that someone else can make some money. The person that created it can make some money. And the only thing you can do is work for it. We have these islands, like say Jamaica's a beautiful place. I'm just using that as an example. I love Jamaica. I love going there. I enjoy myself. But when they saying that there, now Jamaica has this and Jamaica has that, they call it so-called modern, so-called progress. But who is progressing? The foreigners that are coming and making money off them, because the only thing that the Jamaican people, the native people can do there is go and work for them. They're not teaching them to be able to be independent and start being able to take care of their own lands, take care of creating businesses. So everything that is done is created with someone else in mind. So they say we got to go and live the American dream. No, baby, because the American dream don't include you. That ain't your dream. You're allowed to have your own dreams. You need to have your own dreams, and you work and put your time and energy and mostly your money into the dreams. And I know, again, I know we've come a long way, and it's wonderful that we're able to have money now to be able to do these things and have these things that we weren't able to have before. But the trick is that they this ain't my language. They have manipulated so much that we think that we got to be able to, in order for us to be somebody, we got to have these things. But the most thing that's going to save us right now is that we use our money and go back to the old ways. We take things like, this is a paper towel. You take a paper towel and you take a paper towel and you dry your hands with it. Then you throw it away. Well, all you did was put some water on that paper towel. Save that paper towel to use next time that if you're sitting there, at the sink, washing dishes, or you're sitting there cooking your food, then use it over again. Stop being so wasteful. But there's simple things that we can use. If you have a bucket, use the bucket over again. Instead of going buy another bucket, because if you need a bucket again, you're going to go buy another bucket. We have to start thinking for ourselves about how we can manipulate the things that we have to be able to make them useful for ourselves. And we thinking that, back in the old days, we used to wash clothes by hand. Yes. Okay. Well, maybe you don't have to wash clothes by hand, but you may wash them and then hang them out on the line so they can dry. That means that you don't have to buy a dryer. You don't have to pay the gas or the electric to work that dryer, because you have to think about saving your money to be able to do your own thing, your own dream, work towards their own dream. And then when you want something, you don't know how to go buy it used. There's so many used stores around. I remember my children, they didn't want to go be seen in a Goodwill. They didn't want to be seen in a Goodwill. But now, if you're working on something and you want to save your money, then why not go, I may need a toaster. Why not go to Goodwill, see if they got a toaster? Instead of you going just let me go to the mall and buy it. No, that's what I'm talking about. You got to think. It ain't illegal yet. You got to think about how you can use what you got to serve you. Okay, and how you can keep some of your money in your pocket, because the reason why we are doing so bad, because our money, again, it does not circulate in our communities. Our money goes, you get the paycheck and you go and you pay all these people for these services that you think that you need. And then you want to go buy the latest this, because they came up with a new this. So when you want to have it, and a new that, you want to have it. But when you die, all that shit gonna do that. What you gonna do? That shit gonna just go to waste. It's gonna go, and all your money is there. So I'm just saying, pay attention to the fact that what really but what your reality is. Because the shit that you see that's going on, and they saying one thing, but they doing something different. They saying one thing, they're doing something different. So we have got to start thinking for ourselves about how we're doing things. Really think about what you're doing with your children. And they tell us, okay, the children, but by the time the children's 5, they should be able to read. No, baby, your child can read at 2 years old if you take the time and teach your child. So it's up to you to do the stuff. And stop telling your children lies. If you know it's a lie, don't tell your children these lies, because you continue to perpetuate their lies, and when you continue to make us deeper and deeper into the problems that we have. So I think that's enough for now. I love you. God loves you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for sharing. Click on the notification, so every Tuesday you'll get notification on when my video is coming live. So I love you. God loves you. And if you don't love yourself, you can't love nobody else. Believe that shit. If you don't love yourself, you can't love nobody else. So let's get back into being the family that we used to be. We used to live communally, and we lived collectively. Aunts and uncles lived with us. Grandma, we never put grandmama into a nursing home. So start thinking about what's real for you and what works for you and your family, and stop letting other people try to run your shit, okay? I love you. Peace and love.